What is up, guys? Wraith here, Grey Bearded Gaming Society, and we are currently busy running for our life in this particular little snippet. We got that guy behind us who gave us all that we could handle in the back, and then, of course, we're about to get jumped by more orcs because we have low life aggro. The biggest problem we have going on this week, honestly, is we worked hard on several play sessions to get some footage, to get some things put together, and yeah, apparently we did not have the right audio capture device. You can see now we have a bunch of orcs trying to kill us. Yeah, this one was a full pucker, not gonna lie. Absolute full pucker. We slammed our train choo-choo button. We made it out with next to nothing. I could not believe that we survived that, but somehow we managed to do it. So, yeah, welcome back to EverQuest, guys. Alright, so here we go. Pretty much on the following day. We came back in. We never were really able to get anything going that first night. Thankfully, the second day in, we got lucky and we got invited to a group. So we're going to head out to our first group along the wall, right in front of Crushbone Keep. So here we go. Alright, so we got out here, and it wasn't very long at all before we got involved in quite a vicious little fight here. We had a couple of Centurions, nothing too fancy, and then we had the Warlord. And as you can see with this guy, it's he's a beast. He is pretty much, you know, outside of the top of the, not even the throne room, and he would dominate the throne room. I think you pretty much have to get up in the tower, right? Well, maybe right behind where you're dealing with that one Royal Guard guy who's kind of a pain. But you got the Royal Guard, you know, then you got Defending Crush. I think those are like the only things in the zone that are tougher than the Warlord. We did manage to get a hold of this guy a couple times, and unfortunately, he was stingy every single time, and never once did the dude give us the bracelet, which kind of stunk, because it would have just been a spiffy way to kind of get, you know, that free kind of upgrade, you know, something that you kind of earned yourself. But either way, we managed to knock him out a few times. It's a pretty solid group. We dug in here pretty good against the wall. Trying how to, again, I'm not used to doing narration, so you have to deal with me, so I'm trying to come back over and catch some of the video stuff. But yeah, pretty solid. We got a pretty solid starting place. We're pitching the extra gold and pennies we have. We're not necessarily here for loot. We got a lot of belts in our pocket. We're pretty ready to go there. Now it's just time to farm out just some experience. So let's keep this train rolling and see how we do. So this here was probably one of our worst. I wouldn't say it was our worst pull of the night, because it wasn't really a pull, it was really an accident. What happened was that crunch, there goes that poor dude. He tried so hard. Like, I didn't even have the record button pressed fast enough to show you how hard that little enchanter was trying to do to mez the Warlord. And really, what he should have been doing is trying to mez the Legionnaire, right? Because they are smaller. He would have had a better chance. You know, Warlord, again, it's one of the biggest guys outside of when you start talking about the tower mobs. Once he got aggro, I mean, he punched that dude's chest cavity right through his back. But the other problem that we had here, like I said, the tank was pulling. He pulled the Lego. The Warlord ran around the corner as he was coming down the ramp, or the stairs, and across the bridge. And at that point, it was just, boom, here you go. We got them both. The enchanter went down. The other problem that we had here, of course, is that our other DPSer, our mage that was with us, was AFK at the moment. So we had mostly just our tank and support characters out here with the enchanters down. The other guy's a bard. You know, I don't think he had a prayer. I don't even think he's been up to mez this guy yet. I don't think what mez for bard is, what, 14, 15? So there's nothing he could do to thin it down. We did manage to drop the Warlord. It was ridiculously painful. And here is the part where, you know, I'm not going to pat myself on the back and give myself high fives. We were spamming every ability we could think of and just throwing everything we had so we could pull some aggro. Because you can see, like, you know, that tank, he is fighting for dear life. Like, he stopped tanking, was actually just chain healing himself along with the cleric that we had. Thankfully, he was a paladin, so we had some spells just to keep us going, because the cleric was almost out of mana completely. the paladin jumped in, was able to heal himself and keep us going. But then yet again, we dropped him. No stinking bracer. Boo. Just boo. All right, guys. So this is kind of, like I said, I kind of had some other stuff mixed in here and there. It kind of fell off again. I had my standard, gloriously bright, colorful commentary going. But yeah, there was a good group. It lasted for a decently long time, more so than I expected. I mean, any good group, you just can't complain. We knocked out quite a big chunk of the level, which was nice. I mean, we were moving solidly into that 60-75% range, or that 60 to 70% range, which is super cool. Again, and it's just nice to have a group and really be able to flex some of our other skills, because multiple times on the night we were kind of practicing with that standard backstab, but then do a hide, then do a backstab, because you get that little subtle kind of bonus to it. Because my best backstab standard is 28. My best backstab coming out of hide is actually 30 so far. So again, it's nothing huge, but every little bit counts when you're there to do the DPS. Again, it was a very solid group, very well-rounded group that we had tonight, because we had a paladin for tanks. We was pretty decent with the snap aggro. We had the straight-up cleric. This part was actually ridiculous. We walked up here, we stood at this orc, and instead of attacking the orc, we were attacking ourselves for the longest time and wondering while nothing was happening. So the age-old, while trying to assassinate an orc pawn, we tripped and lobotomized ourselves, apparently, because we were stabbing ourselves more than we were stabbing the orc. But yeah. Again, good group. We said paladin, cleric, which was nice. We had bard, so lots of strength buffs and heals and everything. Then we had the enchanter when he wasn't being splatted by legionnaires and the warlord. And then we also had main DPS was me as rogue, and then the mage. And the mage was on the high end, at least for the rest of the group. Like when I joined the group, she was already level 12, which was super cool because she already had the pet spells. And at that level range, that pet was a beast. It was an absolute beast. So if we had a bad pool, if the enchanter could catch one of the lower guys, tank could hold one or two of the big guys, the pet could hold something else pretty much all by itself, which was nice until we could get to it. Now it got a couple squirrely a couple of times, not gonna lie. Of course, now I'm going through, and originally again I was talking about how many belts we scored. We're coming out of Crushbone right there with 22 belts in the bag. And then we were actually the big question that we kind of have now. We didn't make a lot of cash this run in terms of getting loots, because we are pretty weighed down with belts and everything. But the big question is with all the belts that we do have is do we do the run and just try to see how much experience that we do get for them, or do we just try to get some cash? It is always nice to have some capital to try to get a couple of the kind of cheap and easy upgrades. Again, banded legs, banded chest would be huge, because I just don't think there's too many items really in this lower range that we're going to get on the cheap that are really going to be mind-boggling in this range. So or mind-blowing, I should say. Again, we've got the dagger that somebody was cool enough to give to us. Maybe we save the extra dagger, because of course the big stretch now, right, is yes, we get some more stuff at level 12, but it's just kind of really more defensive stuff. Right now it's all about getting dual wield and really blowing up with how much DPS we can do. Now, so we're going through, we're kind of counting the additional belts. We have 2 more full bags of belts in the bank. So we are doing pretty good as far as our bag stash, or say our belt stash. I mean, if we were able to sell them all, that'd be super cool. I mean, we're sitting on about 38 belts, which it's always tough to sell them because somebody has to have a bunch of bag space. I mean, that would be about 38 plat. That would buy the chest and the legs pretty easy, have us a little bit extra to spare. But the question is do we go turn them in? Do we make the run and turn them in? And that's just always the question. I would be honestly worried that we'd waste so much time. We'd run all the way over there and just barely get any experience. I mean, I just don't know. You guys tell me what you think. That's kind of what we were doing here, was we were wrapping up with some kind of closing thoughts. You guys let me know what you think about the belts. Do we sell them? Do we just go ahead and turn them in to push towards 13? We do love to hear from everybody in the comments. And as always, if you like what we're doing, hey man, don't forget to like, comment, hit the subscribe button down below. Like, we were at 300 for the briefest of moments, and even got like this little notification, and then somebody abandoned us. But it's okay. But as always, guys, if you do, as always, see you next time. Like I said, going, I'm trying to narrate and I'm not very good at it. But stay safe, stay distant, stay in EverQuest. We will catch you guys in the next adventure. Night, guys.